on the streets. Let's see if we can get anyone else here.
Alex,
on these trolleys.
You keep hustling, Alex. We'll keep coming to you. Karen, so much to talk about with you. And let's begin right there with Sue Bird. You were part of the management, the group that brought her to Seattle. 37 years old, she is still going strong. How special is it to see what Sue Bird has done with this team?
No, there are, certainly going into this year, there was new players coming in, and you look at the championship in 04 to 10, 18, there's one constant, and it's Sue Bird. She has been the backbone and the heart and soul of this franchise from the day she set foot in Seattle, and I couldn't be more thrilled for her. Okay, let's go out to Alex now with Jewell Loyd from Notre Dame, and now a WNBA champion. Alex, take it away.
Jewell, WNBA champion. What's it like to be out here on this Sunday?
So this city deserves it. They've been supporting us all year, so to come back and give them a trophy means a lot.
What made this team different? What got this team over the top?
I think just our drive. I mean, when you have Sue, who's been a phenomenal leader for us all season, her determination to get things done, we kind of follow her lead.
And this crowd out here today, they've been here all season, as you mentioned. To get it done, what's it mean?
Man, it's awesome. This city has been waiting for a championship to be back here. We've been waiting for a championship to be back here, so to do it with this team and the season that we had, it means a lot.
Jewell, you kind of helped this turnaround. A few years back, you came in kind of at a lower point for the organization, and you helped get this turnaround going. What did it take? How did you make it happen?
We always had a lot of talent here, but we had to just get experience. We needed time to develop, and we did that, and people came in this year with a different mindset, and we got it done.
You got it done. Hey, Jewell Loyd, thank you so much for joining us. Guys.
All right, Alex, I love it, man. This is awesome. A championship parade in Seattle, and third one for the Seattle Storm. And it helps, Karen Bryant, to have 3 number-1 picks to get back to the top, if you will, doesn't it?
Certainly. I mean, Natasha Howard coming in, Alicia brought her in the offseason. Huge acquisition for the Storm. But, yeah, to have 3 number-1 picks in your starting lineup is pretty significant, and clearly those 3 led the way. And, not unlike the championships before. In 2004, it was Sue and Lauren and Betty. And in 2010, we had Swin Cash. We had 4 starters in double figures, not unlike this year's team. They were real offensive power all year, but those 3 set the pace.
All right. Speaking of setting the pace, Breanna Stewart, MVP of the regular season, MVP of the finals. Alex Rozier standing by with the youngest finals MVP in WNBA history. Alex, you just keep bringing us the stars, my friend.
Hey, Stewie, I'm getting a workout here. We're walking and we're talking. Look at this crowd on this Sunday. What's it mean to you?
It's unbelievable, honestly. I think that was the biggest thing. Winning this championship, we wanted to bring it home and celebrate with Seattle, and that's what we're doing today.
And talk about this team. What did you like? What was special about it that elevated you to the top?
Just the fact that, everybody was invested. Everybody bought in. Everybody knew that we were trying to win the championship. Last year and the year before weren't what we wanted, and we did better.
Breanna, there are a lot of young girls out here that are watching this. There's girls that are watching it at home. What's your message to the young people out there that want to be Breanna Stewart?
Message to the young kids is just continue to work hard. Make sure you're outworking everybody and have goals, set goals, and achieve them.
Hey, the MVP, Breanna Stewart, joining us live on King 5 on a championship Sunday.
Alex Rozier, I think, is our MVP right now. He just keeps reeling in interview after interview. Alex, keep it rolling as you're looking at the parade route downtown Seattle, a championship parade. Chris Egan alongside Karen Bryant, former Storm president and CEO. And Karen, we see Breanna Stewart. We heard from her there. What she did in the finals, absolutely amazing. 30 points to help the Storm bring home the title. A lot of people would like to draw a comparison to another Storm great, somebody that you know very closely, Lauren Jackson. Some call Lauren one of the greatest players in WNBA history. Still a little early in Breanna's career to draw that comparison, but they did some similar stuff on the court, didn't they?
Well, I think a key to all 3 of these championships is having that offensive power in the middle, and certainly at the defensive end of all, the presence that both Stewie and LJ have on the floor. They're game breakers, game changers, and to build your franchise around an athlete like that is pretty special.
Breanna Stewart, 4 NCAA championships, the college basketball player of the year for UConn. Her first run with Team USA in Rio. She helped them bring home a gold medal. Now she has a WNBA championship. She has a Rookie of the Year award. She has an MVP. She has a Finals MVP. It's quite the resume already for Breanna Stewart.
No question. I think, you know, it's not coincidental that, you know, Sue wins her first title in her third year. Stewie, in only her third season, gets her first, we hope, of many WNBA championships, and we certainly hope right here in Seattle. I think the chance for her to play alongside Sue Bird, somebody who has, you know, elongated her career by taking care of herself. Sue's going into her 18th season, which is unbelievable, 38 years old in October. You know, so I think Stewie understands the tradition and legacy that she's carrying on, not only on behalf of Lauren, but certainly to play alongside somebody she idolized in Sue.
You mentioned two words there, tradition and legacy. And as somebody that was once director of operations for the Seattle Reign, a women's basketball team well before the Storm, Kate Starbird from Lakes High School, a member of that team, played for Stanford. To see where women's professional sports has gone in the city, has gone in the country, has gone in the world, as somebody that was kind of right there and helped keep it here in Seattle, just kind of what's going through your mind right now as you see these pictures and the parade and the people on the sideline? This is a big day, isn't it?
Huge day for the franchise, huge day for the fans, certainly the athletes and coaches. You know, I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to all the owners that have invested in the Storm over the years, and certainly most notably the three women who make up Force 10 right now, and so thrilled that they've got now their second title as owners. But you know, our success really drops off the resources that we had as an organization, and we had a chance to build an organization from the very beginning in 2000, and that legacy has continued, and we're able to build and fuel the passion for women's sports in Seattle. And it had a lot to do with players like Sue Bird and Lauren Jackson playing their entire careers here. They wanted to play in front of Seattle basketball fans.
Live look at the Seattle Storm Championship Parade coverage, and you mentioned those owners, Force 10 Hoops. How important was that chapter, if you will, in the history of the Storm? Clay Bennett comes to Seattle. I think it's no secret what happened. There's folks like me very sour still to talk about it, losing the Seattle Sonics. But if it's not for you and Force 10 Hoops, there's no word on what would have happened with the Seattle Storm. You gals jumped in, and you saved this franchise.
Yeah, for Lisa and Dawn and Jenny to step in the way that
One
they
second,
did. Yep.
and I want Karen, I want to get right back to that point, but here is Natasha Howard with Alex Crozier. Sorry.
And it's awesome. We also have our Seattle Storm fans as well that have been supporting us since day one.
The streets are lined. I mean, this has got to feel great. The Storm flag is flying on top of the Space Needle.
It just feels great to put our stamp on top of the mountain, and it feels good that we had everybody behind us that was supporting us from day one. It just feels good. It's just a special moment, a special feeling right now that everybody just enjoying.
More championships for Seattle than any other major team. I mean, you guys are Seattle's team.
Yeah, absolutely. We got plenty more to showcase next season too as well. So we're just gonna take this all in right here and just have a great time.
Hey, look at this. Look at the streets are lined. Look at this. This has got to feel great.
Absolutely, it does. Like having Storm Crazy fans, it's unbelievable. This is one of the amazing feelings. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. It's just special.
Take it in. You guys have earned this. Thank you for everything you guys have done for the city, the WNBA, and for all these young fans who look up to you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Natasha Howard, 29 points, a career best for her. Nice timing in Game 3 against the Washington Mystics. Natasha Howard, 29 points, 14 rebounds. She was simply on fire. Washington would make runs, and it seems like Seattle would go to Natasha. She'd get a big bucket. Washington would make another run. Let's just get the ball to Natasha Howard. Back-to-back championships for Natasha Howard, by the way. One with Minnesota, wins with Seattle, so a great pickup there. And Karen, I want to get real quickly back with you about just the owners and saving this franchise. How key was that part in the Storm history? As Oklahoma City came in, Clay Bennett and his crew, and took the Sonics out, but the Storm stayed.
You know, I think for those of us who are huge basketball fans in Seattle, that was a dark chapter in our history, and will be dark until the NBA returns to Seattle, which we hope is soon. But huge credit to those women for stepping up and expressing to to Clay their interest, and to Clay for acknowledging that the Storm's rightful place was right here in Seattle. And it was the beginning of a new chapter. And like I said, in their short tenure as owners, to be bringing home and celebrating their second WNBA championship is a huge credit to their vision and their investment and their commitment.
I got a big hug from Lisa Brummel courtside, by the way, at George Mason University after the game. She's always courtside. And the owners, pretty much all of them are usually at the games, aren't they? Usually?
Absolutely. I don't think they've missed a game all year.
How about the route right there as we look at that? Pretty awesome stuff. Tell me about what goes into getting a Natasha Howard and how key she was. We just heard from Natasha Howard how key that little piece of the puzzle was, because so much was made about the big three, Jewell Loyd, Sue Bird, and Brianna Stewart. But really, when you look at their run through the playoffs, Natasha Howard was kind of that X factor, if you will.
Well, I think back on my time with the Storm in 4 and 10, and the keys that in 4 were Kamila Vodichkova alongside Lauren, and certainly in 2010, Camille Little. And I think without Camilla and Millie on those respective teams, maybe the championship doesn't actually become a reality. She was a key acquisition, probably really the steal of the offseason. Huge credit to Alicia and Dan for bringing Natasha here. She really was the missing piece to play alongside Stewie, and just had a phenomenal year. I think she had career highs in every single category. So not only was she a great piece to the Storm, but clearly a really good fit for her talent and her style of play.
The Seattle Storm Championship Parade is going down Broad Street, then heading west on Denny, then north on First Avenue. It's going to end at Key Arena in the West Plaza, and that is where the Storm players will make some speeches. And Vanessa Machanya is on the parade route and now joins us with more. Vanessa, take it away.
Hey there, Chris. That's right. We are on First Avenue, where we got Storm Crazies lining the streets. Key Arena is just up that way. And I found a couple of super fans here. We got Ayana, Tanaya, and Ariana. Now, you girls played in the clinic, right, during the finals? How was that?
Awesome.
Yeah? Why was it awesome?
We got to meet the Storm players.
Mm-hmm. You look up to them?
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, Tanaya, your favorite is?
Sue Bird.
Now, why is Sue Bird your favorite?
I don't know. She's always been like a role model for some reason.
Yeah. How so?
Like, I love basketball, and I want to be a point guard, and yeah, she's just really cool.
Excellent. And she was telling me a little before, she wants to go to UConn, which is in my home state. So I hope to see you play for UConn. Would you like that?
Yeah.
Excellent. And Ariana, how excited, did you watch the last game, the championship?
Yes.
How exciting was that game?
Really excited.
Yeah. What was your favorite part about the whole thing?
The ending.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it pretty cool to see your team win?
Yeah.
Excellent. And you guys, as young ladies, how cool is it to see, females take on the championship from your hometown? Is that pretty cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you, ladies. Enjoy the parade and the rally. This is, just look at all these fans lining up. This is crazy. We've been walking up and down the street for the past hour. People excited, ready to welcome their champions back to the Key. They really, they swept the Mystics. They put on quite the show, and these fans have been faithful, long before they won on Wednesday. Check this out. We got signs, we got people, we got fans of all ages. How's it going, guys? Woo! Everyone is just so pumped to be here. It is just electric. Yeah. How's it going? What's your name?
Kathy,
Kathy, why are you a Storm fan?
because I love to see strong women doing strong things.
Amen. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, we're going to stick it here, hanging out with our Storm Crazies, waiting for our ladies to come back to the Key. Chris, I'm going to toss it back to you.
Okay, Vanessa, thank you very much. And Amy Marino now joined with Dan Hughes, head coach of your Storm.
This opportunity, just something that I'm very blessed to have been a small part of.
Talk about the role that the fans, the players, yourself, the role everybody plays in this championship.
Well, it was amazing to me because fans react sometimes to when something good happens. This group of fans reacted before something good happened. They almost willed this team to greater heights. Very rare in sports and so appreciated.
What will you remember about this season? Besides the championship, there's a lot of other little moments that go into a season. What will those moments be for you?
Well, to me, it's all about the people. You know, the people that, for example, are on this right here, the way they communicated, the way they respected the process, the way they worked every day. And I'm talking April 29th for this day. Not to be deterred. They had one thing in mind, a single goal, and they accomplished it together. But what I will also remember is what a part these people that are lining this street played with this group. To observe that is special beyond words.
You know, everyone starts saying repeat, do it again. How scary is that for you to try to do something like this again with such a special group of ladies?
You know, I don't think it's about fear or about, I think if you're in a position to be around people that can galvanize, you know, you open your minds to all kinds of success. And these players are a great example of that.
And, you know, this is an awesome turnout. The fans have lined the streets. The Storm flag is flying over the city today. How much do these ladies deserve such a wonderful parade and such an awesome turnout by the city of Seattle?
They deserve it in ways that people don't even understand. They understand, if you'd have seen some of these people in October of last year, January of last year, April of this year, there wasn't a day that they didn't try to create this moment by what they could do, and that's a great lesson, and it's very rare in this world. So they deserve it, and I'm just so happy it can be shared with this wonderful group and this great city.
And Dan, you're making the turn here onto First, heading towards your home base, the Key. Is there a tear in your eye today? Is this bittersweet?
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion today, but the feeling is blessed. You know, I don't think people realize just how blessed I feel to be around this group and around what we're celebrating today.
We're going to let you take it in. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Amy, thank you so much. Great stuff there with the head coach of your Seattle Storm, Dan Hughes, and Karen Bryant joining me in studio as we watch this, and a lot to take in there, a lot of great sound. I go back to the young girl who said Sue Bird is her role model. I go to that moment. I think of my young daughter first meeting Sue Bird when she was 5 years old, watching the Storm. She's now a senior at Rogers High School. She's gone on to become a three-time, state champion in a lot of different sports, and it's role models like Sue Bird that kind of have helped these young girls and boys. Sue would always say it's always not just girls, Chris, boys too can learn from us, and so true. And what I want to get to, Karen, is a little bit just Seattle Storm paving the way, not only for the Washington Huskies and for Seattle University women's basketball, but let's look at the high school kids around. Central Valley out of Spokane, #1 team in the nation. You have a youngster by the name of Haley Van Lith over in Kashmir, one of the most recruitable players in the world right now. She wants to go to UConn. The Seattle Storm kind of paved the way for so many people in the Northwest that we don't realize, do.
Yeah, no question. I think what the Storm represents, what these players represent, most notably Sue, having been the face of the franchise since 2002, it transcends Seattle, it transcends the state of Washington, transcends women's basketball, and certainly transcends sports. It's a cultural representation of how far we've come. We still, as we all are reminded all too often, have a long way to go. In terms of real, true equality, sustained equality, but we can celebrate moments like this that really demonstrate and illustrate how far we have come and what this league, what this team, and what those individual athletes mean to so many people, most notably the young people. You know, you mentioned your daughter. My daughter, Lindsay, is now 10, doesn't know a world without the WNBA Women's Pro Basketball, and has watched Sue and gotten to know Sue over the years. And although not an athlete, she's in the sport of theater, as I like to say,
Yeah.
Certainly can appreciate what it means to see women be successful and to have people pay attention to that and acknowledge their accomplishments.
And you mentioned there is still a long way to go. The battle for equality and pay. it's no secret the WNBA players don't make as much as the NBA players, but the fight continues, and you had record ratings in WNBA playoffs. That Game 5, Seattle versus Phoenix. When you have LeBron James and Kobe Bryant tweeting about it and the world watching, and then the Game 3 had a great draw as well. So it's just awesome stuff. There you see right there, raise the pay for WNBA players. I know Serena Williams has fought hard for tennis players and getting equality with that sport. So the battle continues. Alex Rozier, let's head back to the streets. Look at that shot of the fans. Awesome. And Alex has got more fans right now. Take it away, Alex.
I tell you, Eags, who needs to go to the gym when you got a Seattle Storm parade? I'm getting a workout today. These fans have lined the parade route for blocks, and they are fired up. We are right outside Key Arena right now. Let's walk you around this way and show you what's going to happen here, because they're going to go right into this entrance. Or if they don't, we're out of position. But it seems like that's the idea right here. And the Storm fans are lined up right here, guys. Let's check it out. Let's talk about this team. Sir, I want to ask you a question. On this Sunday, why was it important to you to be out here today?
Well, as a season ticket holder, they've had my allegiance all year long, and I've been doing this for a couple of years now, so it was my way of saying thanks to them for bringing home a championship to Seattle.
And you, as a season ticket holder, have seen the good times and maybe the not so good times. What made this group special?
They just seem to gel, and I think the catalyst is going to be Sue Bird on that. And when she's brought in, I mean, the team brought in, Jewel and Brianna and veterans/rookies like Sammy stepped up. Everybody just had their calling, and this was their year, and they showed the entire league.
What was it about Sue Bird? What do you see in Sue Bird?
Pure leadership. You know, it comes with experience. It comes with doing this for 16 years in the NBA and being on Olympic teams and a remarkably successful UConn program. And you can't help but become a leader when you have all those credentials.
And Sue and others will be out here in just minutes. Thank you so much. I want to walk you right over here because there's one other couple fans that I want to introduce you to, because they've got some specific outfits for today. It's starting to rain a little bit, but before we zip up the jacket, I would tell us about your attire today and why, what you're wearing.
We are wearing ribbon shirts that we made to honor the Seattle Storm, back in 2004 when they won their first championship.
They handed out these scarves during the season, and we just had them sitting around at home. And then when they won, I said, what can we do with them? Because as Indians, we do ribbon shirts to honor events, people, whatever. And I said, let's make ribbon shirts and honor them. And then we thought it would be a one-time only, like we had 04 on the back and this in the front. And then they won in 2010, so we added a 2010 somewhere under the jacket.
Championships in 2010 and 28, and we're prepared to keep adding banners so they can keep winning year after year after year. We're happy with that.
Let's add as many banners as possible. I want to ask you today, it's a busy Sunday for everybody, but thousands of people said we want to be out here. Why was it important for you to be out here on this Sunday?
We've been season ticket holders for a very long time, but I love basketball, and these are wonderful athletes, and it's this team that plays clean and competitively, and they're wonderful. So I'm just glad.
Watching professional basketball, and they are perfect examples of what good basketball is. And I really like being here. And we've been watching Sue since she was drafted. I mean, I feel like, Auntie, I know you from when you were a little kid, And it's really wonderful to see who she's become to the team. I agree with what one of the papers said. She's the heart and soul and the smartest point guard I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you both.
Yeah, thank you.
Really appreciate you being here. The Storm's moving in. The Storm's about to move in here to the Key. It's going to be a great time. Check it out, guys. We'll send it back into you.
All right, Alex. Thank you very much. Alex Rozier along the parade route, and here they come. The Seattle Storm getting closer to the Key Arena. Karen Bryant, the Storm crazies are out there. They're talking about Suzanne Bridget Bird, the heart and soul of this team. How about this stat for you? Before the WNBA season started, Seattle Storm, the odds of winning the title, 25-1. 25-1 to win a WNBA title. Their first game at home, they lose to Phoenix. Sue Bird tells me she went in the locker room, she grabbed Brianna Stewart and said, is this going to be a long season or what? And the two of them said, no, it's not. We're going to get this thing together. And how about Bird? 22 points in that crucial Game 5 against her friend Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner. They needed to win that. It was one of the most electric games I've ever seen at Key Arena, and I've seen a lot of games there, and there were some Sonic games that could match it, but that was absolutely magic that night. Doppler having some fun. The Storm Crazies are having fun. Vanessa Mashanya, she's high-fiving the fans down there, and she joins us now. Vanessa, who do you got?
Hey, Chris, that's right. We're here. The trolleys are just starting to pass us. I got some super fans here. Nancy, why'd you come out today? Make some noise, Seattle! Yay! Woo! What is it about this group of ladies that you love?
Oh my God, they're the heart and soul. I love to watch them. They play from their heart, and they give the city joy.
And pride.
And pride, Laura, talk about that.
Yep, just waiting for the last 8 years to see another championship, being a season ticket holder since 2000.
Oh, wow, since 2000.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
2000.
Watching the final game to win the title, what was that like?
Awesome. Wished it was here on our court, but we'll take it.
Awesome. And Rhoda, what is your favorite part? I mean, this group passing by with the trophy now. What is it about this group of ladies that you like to support?
I am so proud that Seattle has a world-class women's basketball team, and I just want to encourage all of Seattle to come out and continue to support them in the future.
Even in the rain, you come out and support.
Absolutely. We're ready to get into the storm with the storm. You know it.
I love it. Thank you, ladies, so much. I mean, the energy here is just incredible. We've got the trolleys passing by. We got the trophies. We got Natasha Howard. We got fans waving. I see some champagne in those glasses. Well deserved. Having a great time. Stewie here with the trophy. And here comes the MVP chance. Just an awesome experience right here with that trophy. Rhoda Stewart doing a little FaceTime. That's amazing. I mean, just
Karen.
watching all of these fans support this group of women is incredible. And it just makes you really proud to be in the city that, you know, sponsors and gets behind a group of women that are so talented and just awesome role models. I mean, you heard before, just talking to the younger ones, how they look up to these ladies is incredible to be here, Chris.
Vanessa, thank you. And Karen, this is what I love, because I'm getting goosebumps listening to Vanessa, because you can just kind of feel the raw emotion, the energy. She's somewhat new to King 5 TV. And she's getting on the Storm train, if you will, and she's feeling this energy down there, and that's so exciting. You and I, we were there together in 2004 as we paraded through Seattle. I interviewed you. It was an incredible moment. Since then to now, talk a little bit about just the Storm Crazies and these season ticket holders. Incredible stuff what we've seen over the years and the support that they have given this team.
Yeah, the Storm is known around the league, certainly around our city, but around the league, and really in other sports leagues as one of the best, most loyal, most enthusiastic fan bases in sports. And they have been so loyal, you know, through 4 ownership changes. We talk about Sue being a constant. The real constant from 2000 to 2018 is our Seattle Storm fans and those season ticket holders who have been the emotional backbone. You know, sports is a roller coaster, and in between those 3 championships there were down years, and to have those fans stay with us and you stay in it and you support players like this and franchises like this because you hope and you dream that someday you get right back here to another championship, and they sure did.
Great shot there of Alicia Clark from Middle Tennessee State. She was so vital for this team, a defender, a shutdown defender. Washington, the Mystics, were known for their three-point shooting. Alicia Clark was there to put a stop on that. She came up with some big shots in Game 3 as Washington was making a run. It was Alicia Clark there in the 4th quarter who hit a big bucket, and she was key all season long, one of the starters. And you can see the fans high-fiving as the team gets closer. Amy Moreno, Alex Rozier, here, Vanessa Machanya are down there live. Vanessa, I think, may be a member of the Seattle Storm now. She may be in the trolley. She's high-fiving everybody. The championship trophy. I don't know if Jewel Lloyd's going to let that go. She's going to keep that all day long. And here, what a shot right here. Let's just listen in and kind of savor a little bit of this. This is the great thing about sports, how it brings a community together. We saw it with the Seahawks when they won a championship. We saw it with the Seattle Sounders when they won a championship. You have people from all over the Northwest, Paulsbo, Puyallup, Tacoma. They're coming up down from Bremerton, over from Bremerton, Eastern Washington. It's the great thing I love about sports, Karen, is it just, you know, everybody's on the same team, and they're all rooting for the Seattle Storm here today. It is really special to see this right now.
Now, sports is such a unifying thing in our community, and we've seen that time and time again in Seattle, that regardless of all of our differences, when you come together around the love of a team and the love of a game, it's a really powerful unifying force. But no greater tunnel to run through than that tunnel right there.
Shelly Hart leading the way, and here comes the trophy is switching hands now. Alex,
here we go.
Pretty awesome stuff, Alex. Take it away.
Sue Bird. Sue Bird's coming through, guys. Let's see if we can get her.
It was raining, right? Makes it even better.
The perfect storm.
Exactly.
Hey, Sue, I can't help but notice all the young people here.
Yeah.
What is your message to the young girls, the young boys that are growing up and watching this?
I mean, luckily now with the WNBA, they have women they can watch and aspire to be. For boys, it just changed the conversation.
Love it. Sue Bird, there she goes. Let's turn around here, and we're going to get the champs coming through. Guys, it is pouring rain out here right now on a Sunday, but you can't help but smile because this team is bringing so much energy to this city. There's Coach Hughes. I appreciate it. Thank you. Coach Hughes, for you. Coach, greeting some fans, some loyal fans. Coach, what's this experience like for you?
Unlike anything I've ever experienced. The support of this city for this team is unprecedented, but such a beautiful thing. I'm just so glad to be a small part of it.
Hey, Coach, congratulations. What an exciting moment. Dan Hughes, first-year coach for the Storm, getting a hero's welcome as he enters Key Arena on this Sunday.
Angela Russell did a great story with Coach Dan Hughes, who came back to coach the Seattle Storm, one of the longest tenured coaches in the WNBA, and decided to come back. And what a moment he's enjoying now as he's taking in all the fruits of his labor, his hard work, as he brings home a title to this city. I know his mother has been struggling health-wise, and he wanted to be with her, and she was able to watch this championship, and his wife right by his side there as he brought the WNBA championship into the locker room at George Mason University. The crowd is just impressive to me. The numbers, you got to love it. On a rainy day in Seattle, yeah, it would have been easy, Karen, to stay home and watch this live on TV, and I'm sure there's a lot of people doing that right now, but got to give a shout out to the Crazies.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Again, especially winning on the road, it's the first chance for the organization, most notably the players, to celebrate with their fans. And their fans, I like what Coach Hughes said earlier, that willed this team to win. You said the odds were 25-1, that first home loss. You know, what a turnaround for the Storm. They won 11 more games this year. They ended the season with 7 straight sellouts at Key Arena, and as Mayor Durkin said, to close out that basketball in that building for the next couple years in the manner that they did, what an impressive run.
Seattle Storm, known for their defense, they got a lot of steals, and Alex Rozier is stealing interviews down there. I think, Alex Rozier, your stats are pretty good. He's done a couple interviews, but Alex, keep up the MVP performance. Amy and Vanessa are down on the Storm route as well, and now we're taking our first look inside Key Arena. That is where the championship parade will wrap up, and the fans are starting to head into the Key. Here's your live look inside the Key. So many great moments there. Karen Bryant, part of 2 championships. with the Seattle Storm on that court right there, and you can see they have the flag waving on the Space Needle. I mean, this city is all in. But I was talking to Lisa Brummel, one of the owners of the Storm, and she said it just felt like you got into the playoffs and the city kind of, and whether it was the downfall of the Mariners, if you will, but the city loves a winner, let's be honest. And when this team got in the playoffs, it was like it was just double-folded the amount of attention this team was getting. You
know, they had a lot of exciting games toward the end of the season and come from behind victories, and that tends to rally a fan base. And yeah, I think that late regular season run and certainly in the playoffs, the city just came alive. And to see that building full, I was there in Game 5 of the semifinals, and one of the best basketball games, most exciting basketball games in that building, and that's saying a lot.
And I love those games when I look back and you see some Sonic legends. Slick Watts, Lenny Wilkins. You saw some other Husky great Nate Robinson was there. He brought his daughter to the game. I mean, there were so many. We saw members of Pearl Jam were there. I mean, it was kind of the who's who courtside there, wasn't it?
Yeah, Macklemore, I think, was there, and it was really neat to see not only, you know, sports legends, but you know, people who are you know, such a big part of Seattle to come out and support this team down the stretch. And you know, the fans are a big factor. And, you know, as I said earlier, the Storm fans are known around the league and certainly have a rival love affair with Diana Taurasi. And the fans were huge in that Game 5 win at home. And no question, obviously, Sue's 14 points in 5 minutes didn't hurt, but the fans came alive in that building, and there's no question that had a lot to do with their run late in the game.
37 years of age, and Diana Taurasi, her good friend, who's won a few gold medals with Sue Bird, said that was the greatest she's ever seen her play in that fourth quarter against the Mercury in that final stretch. A live look now inside the key as they're getting set for the finale of the Storm Championship Parade, which you are watching live on King 5 TV. Karen Bryant, former Storm president, CEO, joining us with our coverage. A big thanks to her. And Karen, let's talk a little bit about Sue Bird. I know we've talked a lot about her, but we haven't got to the point regarding retirement. A lot of people, I was there after the game asking the question, okay, Sue, John Elway, he won an NFL championship, he retired. He won the Super Bowl, he was done. Sue Bird, are you going to retire? You're going to be 38 years of age. Why not go out with the sun, you know, with a championship? Your thoughts on this? You don't think she is going to retire?
I don't. I haven't talked to Sue, you know, recently, but certainly talked to her going into this season, and you know, has no sights set on retirement anytime soon. And I know from a conversation we had previously, she said, KB, as long as I'm healthy and can contribute to the Storm winning basketball games, why would I stop? And clearly, she's healthy, notwithstanding another face mask, but healthy. And you know, Sue has made a lot of changes late in her career, and several years ago decided to stop playing overseas so she could get the rest and recovery she needed. She's completely overhauled her diet, paid more attention to things like sleep and hydration, and has elongated her career by how she's taken care of her body. And it's a real credit to Sue as just a consummate professional athlete, and is a real role model for other players around her. No question she'll have an impact on players like Stewie and Jewel.
No women's basketball player on the globe has ever won 5 gold medals. NBC will be having the 2020 Summer Games coming up in Tokyo. And Sue Bird, I've mentioned this to her, and she says, yeah, I want to be on that team. Diana Taurasi could go after 5 gold medals as well, and Sue Bird would be on that team. Possibility that she would be on that team?
Yeah, I think strong possibility. You know, Sue is a legend among legends. You know, there are a number of names we can think of when we think of the greatest women to ever play the game in the United States. And she's had the pleasure of playing with many of them. Thrilled that some of them actually graced the Seattle Storm. Tina Thompson, Katie Smith, Swing Cash, Cheryl Swoops. Sue is certainly among them, but I think Sue has always wanted to leave her mark, and she has already, but she has an opportunity to be a 5-time Olympian, potentially a 5-time gold medalist. You know, playing at the age of 40, she'd be close to 40 years old by the time that comes. I think she also feels a tremendous amount of responsibility and loyalty to the fans, so a chance to open a new building and take the Storm into potentially a new arena and help them make a run for another title. I think all those things weigh on her as a big opportunity for her and her legacy.
All right, the Storm Championship Parade coming to you live on King 5 TV as they get set to get into the Key Arena. We want to take a look back at some of the pictures already coming in from Taylor Muir Fendereski. And here we go. These are some of the shots that we're getting from the parade route. The mayor, a huge fan, enjoying the moments. This was obviously before the rain started coming in. The Storm Crazies, hashtag Seattle Storm if you're on Twitter or Instagram right now. Send us your thoughts if you're out there. There's Shelly Hart. Shelly Hart used to have old school luncheon. I used to listen to that as a junior high kid coming into school, and she's become a huge fan of the Seattle Storm. Sue Bird taking in a moment, and that's what this is about. It's moments, isn't it, Karen?
No question. And so many small moments are stringed together to get to today. But what a huge credit to everybody that plays a role in the franchise behind the scenes. You know, they don't get a lot of credit, but a lot of people behind the scenes that contribute to the success and allow those players to do what they do best, which is compete on the floor.
I was going to say, there are so many people, you know, we've been mentioning Brianna Stewart and Sue Bird, but you forget about the public relations, the people, the trainers. I mean, there are so many. There is a group of guys that plays against the Storm at practice. I mean, there are so many people that help make this happen.
Well, I think that's what's so great about athletes like Sue and Stewie and others. You know, tremendous, genuine gratitude for all the people around them, whether that's family and friends or the support staff at the Seattle Storm, the fans. It takes a village, and the athletes tend to get the most credit, as well they should. They're the ones that step on the floor every night and train each and every day to get to a day like today, but they don't get here without a tremendous amount of love and support from a lot of people around them.
No Seattle professional sports team has ever won 3 championships until now. The Seattle Storm winners in 2004, 2010, and of course 2018. Karen Bryant was part of the 2004 and 2010 run. How tough was it for you to say goodbye? I know we sat down and talked about that when you announced you'd be leaving from the team, but it was a family decision because it takes a lot of time. You had many sleepless nights. It took a lot of time, didn't it?
It did. I put my heart and soul into women's basketball for 18 years and have no regrets. It was a career of a lifetime for me. I learned a ton. I grew a lot, had some amazing experiences, including obviously the 2 championships. Being a part of bringing women's pro basketball here initially in '96 with the ABL and the Seattle Reign. Yeah, there she is. 10 years old now. It's hard to believe. That's getting ready for the parade on that very same route in 2010. What a day that was. And for Lindsay to grow up around the Storm, it was really a highlight to be able to share the end of my WNBA career with my family, most notably my partner and my daughter. But I was ready. I was ready for a change. I was ready for a new challenge. And, you know, and I think the organization was ready too. I think I had been doing it long enough that it was time for fresh ideas, fresh energy. And it didn't take me long after meeting Alicia to realize that she was the perfect fit and came in with her own ideas and innovation and has done just an amazing job to get this franchise back to the top. And
we've seen that in other organizations through the year, that nothing was wrong, but sometimes just some fresh ideas. We saw that with the Seattle Sounders. Ziggy Schmid did a heck of a job with the Seattle Sounders, but they decided to go with Brian Spencer. It's just a new face, some new ideas, and they come in and they win a championship. And, you know, you have to look sometimes at the history, and they've helped pave the way, but sometimes those fresh ideas can help keep things rolling. And how about that shot right there? That's 2004, right? Am I correct on that?
2004 at Westlake. That was the year we won at home, so very different experience to win at home in 2004. The confetti fell in Key Arena. We had a huge party just a couple hundred feet away from the arena.
Got the mayor, the governor, and
mayor, and Howard Schultz right there, who's on to some exciting, potentially new things in his future. But that was an exciting time. Obviously, the first championship, I think, is really special. It was special for our city to bring a championship after the NBA championship here, bring a basketball trophy back to Seattle, and here we sit today celebrating number 3. Who you know, it's hard to believe.
Pretty amazing stuff. Alex Rozier has now worked himself inside the key. He is getting a workout and joins us now as they're getting close to start this celebration. Alex?
I tell you, this is a great time. I'm having such a good time. Look at this crowd right here. I mean, we are filling the key for the Seattle Storm. The seats are ready. Keith, let's show them the seats down here. They're ready to roll for the team. The fans are filling the seats. One of them is Sean. Sean, tell me about why you wanted to be out here on this Sunday.
Well, I've been a season ticket holder since day one. We were here in 2004 when they won their first championship. I went to Atlanta when they won their 3rd championship and couldn't make it back for the parade, so I forego a trip to D.C. and decided to be here for the parade because I knew they were going to win in 3.
Gotta love it, and a nice sweep, and the 3rd championship for this organization. You've watched the good times, you've watched the not so good times. What do you like about this team?
I just love their commitment to the team, to each other, and to the city, and the amount of stuff that they give back to the city. And they just play team basketball. It's an amazing product, and people that aren't coming out to see them are missing a great game.
Yeah, it's a heck of a team. Let's talk about Sue Bird for a minute. Her 3rd championship. What do you like about Sue?
She's just a consummate point guard, old school, can distribute the ball really well, and knows how to take over a game and score when she needs to.
Gotta love it. Sean, thank you for joining us. This is such a good time on this Sunday. Keith, let's show them the crowd one more time. Let's see if these fans will chat with us. Hi there, we're with King 5. Tell us a little bit about why you wanted to be out here today.
They just won their championship.
What a nice win.
She plays for the Special Olympics. This is Allie.
Oh my gosh,
And
Allie.
I got to pray with the team on Friday, and I was waiting to be invited in, and Allie happened to be standing outside, and she got to meet Sue Bird.
Allie got to meet Sue Bird. Allie, tell me, who is your favorite player?
Brianna Stewart.
Oh, you like Brianna Stewart.
I want to meet her someday.
Wow, maybe today's the day. We'll see. Brianna Stewart and more are going to be here in just minutes. We are awaiting the team's arrival. Thank you both for joining us. They're taking pictures. Everybody's taking pictures, making memories at the Key, Eags. This is a whole good time.
Rozier, thank you so much. Continues to bring us great coverage from outside and inside. Karen Bryant, former president, CEO, and we heard there about the Storm giving back. And I go back to over a decade when there was a young girl from Olympia High School, basketball player, battling cancer. I reached out to you. I reached out to the Storm. You guys went out of your way. You brought the girl to a Storm game. She met Sue Bird. It was an incredible moment. That was a big thing for you about giving back to the community, wasn't it?
Yeah, no question. I think, certainly in women's sports, not to say not in men's, but there's a tremendous gratitude for the chance to play professionally, the chance to play in front of a home crowd. And so every opportunity our organization has, our players have, to give back and express that gratitude and to inspire. I think that's a key word. They understand the role models that they are and the chance they have to inspire our community, young and old alike, boys and girls alike. And it's a real privilege. And I know they take it very seriously, and something that I think brings them as much joy as it does the fans.
Well, a sincere thank you to you and for everybody else with the Storm for what you guys and gals have done in our community. As we take a live look inside now at the Key, as we're getting close, they are going to have a parade championship wrapping up inside Key Arena. The players are more than likely going to grab the mic, talk, and there's the mayor sitting down courtside. What's kind of going through their mind right now? You've been there. You've been on the big stage. Quite the crowd showing up. You gonna dance a little? What are they gonna say?
Ton anticipation, right? For that first moment when those players walk out, when those fans get a chance to see that trophy, walk into that building and to look up and see those 2 banners, and we'll make way for a 3rd now. As I said, it's the culmination of not just one season, but many seasons to get here, and just a chance to really just celebrate together all that was accomplished this season. Only one team gets to bring home that trophy, and this year it's the Storm once again.
The heart, the soul, we've heard about pride, 3 words being used quite a bit this afternoon during the Storm Parade Championship. Alex Rozier is back inside, and he's staying inside for the rest of the day. Take it away, Alex.
Yeah, I'm getting dry here now. Well, guess who I found?
Hey.
King 5 Morning, Steve Bunin.
Biggest Storm fan in the newsroom.
And Gabriella here as well. Say hi, Gabriella. You had to be. I know you followed this team all season long. What do you like about this squad?
I love it. We have season tickets. We love their passion, their energy. They're so highly skilled. They got a great mix of young and old. Love shooting the 3-point ball, and I love that because as a kid, that's what I love to do. They're great role models too for Gabriella and a lot of girls her age.
Gabriella, do you have a favorite player?
Probably Sue Bird.
Sue Bird, yeah. So this is going to be a good time today. Stevie, what do you like about Sue Bird?
She's been great since college. She's been an Olympian. She stuck with the Storm when they were in their downturn 4 or 5 years ago, and has really guided this team through the broken nose with all this great influx of talent with Bree and Jewel Lloyd. And she's a Seattle icon now. I think you can say that with Steve Largent and Ken Griffey Jr. and Edgar and all those Sonics from '79, and she's on that list now.
Love it. Steve Bune and Gabriella, thanks for being here, Gabriella.
Thanks for having us. Go Storm.
Deegs, we'll send it back into you.
I think Steve says it best. She is a Seattle icon. You look at Ken Griffey Jr., Gary Payton, Steve Largent, Sean Kemp, and you have to have Sue Bird up there. I want to also talk about getting support from the mayor. Senator Maria Cantwell is there. As somebody that's worked countless hours, how important is it to have that support from politicians, from the mayor's office?
It's critical, I think, especially as an emerging sport that continues to sort of fight for the opportunities and from a practical standpoint, venues and scheduling dates and whatnot. I think to have the support of the politicians and the business community is critically important. I think that's one of the things that really separates Seattle from a lot of the other franchises is the sustained success, and it's a direct reflection of the ownership groups, as I said, certainly the fan base, the success on the floor, but also equally importantly, the politicians and the business leaders. The folks over at Swedish to make the decision to have their name adorn the jerseys and the investment that they've made in the team, and other sponsors like Carter Subaru that have been with the franchise from the very, very early days. It's critically important to have that entire community wrap their arms around this franchise to help them succeed.
And there you see two banners. Karen Bryant helped bring those banners to Seattle, the 2004 and 2010 championship. Once this ceremony gets going, we will listen in as the players get close to take the stage.
The proud sponsor of our Seattle Storm.
I'm listening in right now, just trying to hear. We're waiting for the big moment. Great crowd arriving inside. I think they're happy to be inside now where it's nice and dry. We talk about this team, and I want to throw out one more name we haven't mentioned. Sammy Whitcomb played for the University of Washington, and I mentioned that because she was telling me how exciting it was to watch as a Husky when you guys won in 2010, and now to be on this team. And she came out and was key in some big parts of this game. It's kind of neat to see what Sammy did.
Well, who would have thought that the Husky we'd be talking about
Sammy Whitcomb
contributing to the Seattle Storm championship would be none other than Sammy Whitcomb. What an exciting story to see Sammy not only come into the franchise, make the roster, and then make some key contributions. She has that beautiful shot from the three-point line and hit some timely buckets in this playoff run, and really, really neat to see a local gal and a former Husky as part of this championship franchise.
Breanna Stewart, we've talked about her, and I've watched her when she played at UConn, and now I'm seeing what she is doing with the Seattle Storm. How good is she, Karen? How good could she become?
I'm not even sure we know what the ceiling is for Stewie, and she'll likely define that on her own. But as you said earlier, she's just at the very, very beginning of her pro career. I think the opportunity to continue to play overseas and get experience at that level of competition, likely obviously on the Olympic team again in 2020. So she's just going to continue to get better. And as I said, I don't think you can underestimate the impact that playing alongside Sue and having Sue as a mentor, given that Sue has had sustained success over her career. And I know Stewie is extremely grateful for the opportunity to be teammates with Sue Bird.
And this was interesting. You talked about this off air with me. There was a time where Sue Bird, who grew up in the New York area, was potentially looking about going back east and playing back east. There's no secret about that. And Breanna Stewart, another player from back east, played at UConn. But when they get here, they realize, oh my gosh, we've got it really good in Seattle. We've got media that cover us. We've got fans that like us. And that is not the situation in every WNBA city, is it?
No, it's certainly not. As I mentioned earlier, to have players like Swin Cash, Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson, Katie Smith. Tina and Katie were just inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not coincidental that those legendary players have chosen to make a stop in their career right here in Seattle. Now, that's a lot of credit to Sue. I mean, they know that when they've got Sue as their point guard, that's a huge key to success. And at the end of the day, players want to win. But to Sue's credit, to make the decision to stay in Seattle and forego a chance to go back home and potentially be a part of a championship caliber team that Lambier was putting together, to stay here and rebuild with Force 10 and Alicia and what she's done. It just says so much about her loyalty to the city and the person that she is.
All right, the big moment we've been waiting for is it's about to happen. They've paraded through the streets of Seattle. They are now in the tunnel. They're turning off the lights. And we're going to just listen in right now. The Seattle Storm Parade Championship wrapping up at the Key Arena. And here we go. Enjoy the moment coming to you live on King 5 TV.
Let's meet Ginny Gilder and wife Lynn Slaughter. Now let's meet the staff for your 2018 WNBA Champion Storm. First up, athletic trainer Tom Spencer. Player development coach Ryan Webb. Assistant coach Gary Kloppenberg. Assistant coach Crystal Robinson. And the head coach, in his first year delivering championship medal to Seattle, 2018 WNBA champion Dan Hughes. And now let's bring out the champs. Seattle, make some noise! Up first, she is not with the team, but how big was she in the playoffs? Number 33, Simi Whitcomb. And now, a 6'6" center from Tennessee, number 2, Mercedes Russell. A 6'4" center from Oklahoma, number 3, Courtney Harris. '11", a forward from rebound, number 23, Carolina Marskell-Lewis. 6-foot guard from UCLA, number 45, Noel Quinn. A 6'2" forward from Maryland, number 1, Crystal Langmore. A 5'6" guard from UCLA, number 21, Jordan Canada. Now, these were the starting 5 that led the way. First up at 5'11", from Middle Tennessee State, number 32, Alicia Clark. The most improved player in the WNBA for 2018, number 6, Natasha Howard. Out of Lincolnwood, Illinois, a 5'10" guard, number 24, Jewel Lloyd. All we need to say about this next player is MVP, 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 MVP. Breanna Stewart, MVP. And a 5'9" guard. In her 16th season for the UConn, 3-time Storm WNBA champion, There they are, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it again for your WNBA champion, Seattle Storm. Now, fans, at this time, I'd like to welcome to the podium the voices of Storm Broadcasts, Dick Fain and Elise Woodward.
Seattle, you have a champion once again! What an amazing, amazing collection of men and women sitting right here before us today. And I want to give you just a few of the team accomplishments so you realize truly what they were able to achieve this season. Obviously, the third WNBA title for this city of Seattle. I was doing a little math the other day. Since the Seattle Storm have become a franchise, they have collected 16% of every WNBA title that's been around since 2000. They now have a 8-game WNBA Finals winning streak. That is a WNBA record. They tied a league record with 13 road wins this season. And individually, we have our WNBA and Finals MVP in Breanna Stewart. We have our Sportsmanship Award winner and our WNBA All-Star starting point guard in Sue Bird. How about the WNBA Most Improved Player, Natasha Howard? Community Assist Award winner for July and the best defensive stopper in the league, Alicia Clark. And how'd you like this coach this year? Was he all right? Dan Hughes, everybody! Elise, amazing accomplishments this year, but what I'm going to take from 2018 more than anything is the fact that this Seattle Storm team made the entire region fall in love with them. This used to be a niche basketball team. It is a niche basketball team no longer. This is a bona fide sport in this city and this country, and it will be forever.
Yeah, I'd say I've been following this team and watching it from game 1 against Houston. And believe it or not, Sue was not on that team the first year, right, Sue? But I will say, this particular team, if they gave you joy this year, stand up and give them a hand. They gave me joy. Team is, and I think Alicia Clark said it after the championship, nobody cared who got the credit, they just wanted to win. And as a fan and as somebody that loves basketball to my core, watching the way they played with one another and each person taking a turn at stepping up in big moments, whether it was Jewel or Brianna or Sue or Sammy or I mean, the list goes on and on. That's why they're the champs. I think everybody in your family and business and wherever, it's really cool to see a team that tries for one another, loves one another, and comes together, and it was a joy. I thank you all. It was a blast to watch you guys this year. Amazing, amazing.
Well, as we know, championships are born before the basketball ever rolls out. They're born with a great ownership and a great front office. And I'd like to call up Alicia Valavanis right now, the woman that orchestrated the 2018 WNBA champions. We're going to hear a lot about the championship caliber ladies that performed on the court this year, but Alicia, how about the championship staff that you have? And tell everybody sitting here about the people that you have behind the basketball team.
Thank you, Dick. What's up, Seattle? We got it. It takes a lot of people. Truthfully, it is a team behind this team. And I just want to give some credit out there right now. So I would love to actually recognize the front office and the high performance team. Stand up. Stand up. These guys work day in and day out so that it is an awesome experience. Thank you, team. There are a lot of people that make this happen and make it special. We also have corporate partnerships, so let's give it up right here. We've got Swedish, BECU, Carter Subaru, Jim Moran, Guy Hudson, stand up, stand up. It takes all of us. But at the front of this whole thing, Seattle, is you, the fans. Y'all got us through the playoffs. We remember that Phoenix series. That was all you. Thank you to the fans. Thank you to this city. We would not be here without you. Thank you. And lastly, I personally want to thank this ownership group. There is a WNBA team in Seattle because of Force 10 ownership. Give it up, get on your feet. Get on your feet, get on your feet. Thank you all, thank you.
Alicia, thank you. How about we hear from a representative of Force 10 Hoops? Give it up, Seattle, for Ginny Gilder!
Okay, I will just echo that as we introduce Ginny. It was a shocking day when the team was sold, the Sonics and the Storm, and it was pretty devastating for a lot of people that were in the organization at that time, including myself. One of the worst, probably without a doubt, the worst sporting day of my life. And when we heard word that the team was going to stay because of this ownership group, I can't put it into words how many great memories we have because of these ladies. Thank you, and thank you. Ginny.
Let me just say, on behalf of my co-owners, we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. In a good way.
Ginny, one question from me, and then go ahead. You've been here for a long time. You've seen the ebbs and flows of this franchise. You've seen the highs and lows, and you almost saw it go away. What does this moment mean to you right now after what we've been through, particularly the championship in 2010, and then really totally turning it over the next 5 or 6 years?
Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to answer that in a slightly convoluted way, hopefully not too convoluted. First, let's think about how 2018 is similar to 2010. We had a great team in 2010. Great women, great athletes, great leaders. Same. Not only the Storm, but WNBA players as a whole, back then were terrific competitors and inspiring role models. Still today, 144 amazing women play in our league. One more thing that was the same between 2010 and 18. Oh, we had the same point guard. Lisa, Dawn, and I were owners back then too. And the city was behind us, as especially exemplified as the city council. Back then, we had Bruce Harrell and Sally Bagshaw, who are still big Storm fans and are still on the city council. Okay, that's what was similar. Let's talk about what's different. We knew from the start in 2010 that team was a strong contender, right? We went 17-0, 18-0 at the Key that year. Undefeated at home. This year, remember that first home game? No one predicted this year's outcome. Sue Bird is 8 years old. The city's support has grown to the point that not only is the Storm the #1 team in the WNBA, but the city is as well. Every sports franchise needs fan and corporate support, but government is essential too. And our city's support is an obvious and tangible expression of our community's commitment to equity and diversity. So I want to thank those long-tenured elected officials who've been stalwart Storm supporters. Our U.S. Senator, Maria Cantwell. County Council Member, Jean Cole Wells. Bruce Harrell, today's President of the City Council, Sally Bagshaw, a new addition, Deborah Juarez. And I don't know what we say about our mayor. It's a miracle she didn't get kicked out during the finals when she was harassing our officials, but that's okay, because she's been with us from the beginning, Mayor Jenny Durkan. And the last thing I want to say about the difference between 10 and 18 is that we, back then, were inexperienced owners who we benefited tremendously in that run from the leadership that preceded us, that started with Ginger Ackerley when she brought the Storm to Seattle. Today, we own this franchise. It's history in a way that, frankly, we just didn't own in 2010. And we brought in Alicia Valavanis. But one thing hasn't changed. We bought this franchise to keep it in Seattle. We own it, and it belongs to you.
Jenny Gilder, everybody! As Jenny pointed out, we have no shortage of special guests today, but I do want to give a nice few minutes for our mayor of Seattle to say a few words to the Storm Crazies. Jenny Durkan, everybody!
All right, Storm fans, let's give it up one more time for the Storm! What an amazing day today is. The Seattle Storm bringing back their third banner. The last game played right here in Key Arena showed us who was going to win. And I have a message to Washington, D.C. and Mayor Bowser. Pay up. We want to see you in Storm colors. And look, we got to give that team and all the teams the Storm paid tremendous credit. We saw some great women athletes throughout these playoffs. We saw grit, we saw determination, but there's a new goat in town. Now, a lot of people wrote me as mayor and they called me, everybody loves the Storm, and a lot of people said, we need a statue for Sue Bird right there in the middle of the floor.
Sue Bird! Sue!
Bird!
Sue! Sue!
Now, we got to say a couple things about that. It's sometimes hard to be Seattle mayor. And my most humiliating defeat was when Sue Bird crushed me in horse. Now, I don't think we should put a statue up where anyone until they're done playing. So if you want Sue to keep playing, you got to stand up now and tell her. Come on. All right, so we can't do a statue, but Doppler's going to be coming out out here for a minute with a little surprise for the team and the city. We got to give it up for Doppler. Right here. Come on, up on your feet. We are renaming the road right outside the key. It is Seattle Storm Way. Let's give it up for the Seattle Storm. Thank you for everything you do. You're awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, let's hear it for Mayor Jenny Durkin. All right, at this time, I respectfully ask all the players to make their way to the bench. All the players, coaches, owners, on-court dignitaries make their way to the bench. Now, fans, please direct your attention to Storm Vision as we take a look back at the memorable moments from the 2018 Seattle Storm regular season.
The 2018 season started off with mostly familiar faces. The core team was all back from the past 2 seasons, but they were hungry to improve after 2 straight years of first-round playoff exits. There were also some new faces. Dan Hughes was in as head coach, and he immediately set to work instilling a defensive mindset.
Realizing we haven't had a winning season since 2011, and analyzing what can we do to put us in a situation to stair-step, to become a winner, to become a playoff advancer, to become a champion. To me, it started with defense and rebounding to add to the package that we had. We have to expand our thought of defense into possession. Possession is when we got it done, okay?
Natasha Howard was another new addition, coming over from the defending champion Minnesota Lynx.
She's a big, but she also has mobility. And it allows us to do some of the schemes that we want to do, the aggressive nature we'd like to defend with.
Natasha made her presence known immediately, scoring 14 points on opening night, and soon securing her place in the starting lineup.
When she first came to the team, it's like, you don't know how it's going to work out. You know, yeah, this was this player that you knew she had championship experience, you know, with Minnesota, but you also knew it was in a limited role. So, you know, how do you know what's going to happen? And then the minute she got here, you could tell right away. It's such a difference maker.
Like in 2017, the Storm got off to a fast start behind some hot shooting from Jewel Lloyd, who posted back-to-back 29-point games in the second and third games of the season. On June 16th, the Storm would face the #1 ranked Connecticut Sun in the biggest test yet for the 7-3 Storm.
And Seattle has got a huge statement win over the #1 record in the WNBA.
Connecticut has proven that they're one of the best teams in the league, and so have we at this point.
The Storm would continue their hot streak, and by the All-Star break, they had the best record in the league.
This year just felt different. It felt special. The players that came along, they were just special players. So I think we kind of knew something was going on, but we weren't so caught up on, we got to win a championship, we got to win a championship. It really was just, we want to grow as better people, better players.
I think what made this season so unique was that, you know, nobody really expected this of us. And I don't even know that we expected it of ourselves. You know, we just kind of went through the season and took it one game at a time and kind of figuring things out. And, you know, before we knew it, it was All-Star break and we were #1 in the league. And we're like, how did this happen? But it kind of, in some ways, it allowed us to grow into what we ended up being at the end. And it was great not to have those expectations.
Coming out of the All-Star break, all eyes were on Seattle. After a home-heavy start to the season, the second half would include some brutal road trips. A key matchup would come August 12th, when the Storm would take on the defending champion Minnesota Lynx.
We were on a little bit of a tough road trip, you know, a couple games in a couple days, and we had just lost a bad one to Washington, and we roll up to Minnesota, and we're in a situation where Atlanta was starting to catch up. And so it was a pretty big game, and we hadn't won in Minnesota in like, I don't know, like 8 years. So we hadn't won in Minnesota, it's Minnesota, and it's a pretty important game as far as playoff implications go. And we just, I don't know, we had a calm about us. You know, we walked into the gym. It was a seesaw game back and forth. We had control for a little bit, and then boom, fourth quarter, it started with Stewie hitting a bunch of threes. We all chimed in with that, and then the game was over. And I don't know, there was just something about our composure where I thought, we might actually be able to pull this off. And that was kind of the moment for me where I was like, all right, we got to get ready for this playoff run. This could be special.
As they gained momentum, it was obvious this team was having fun, enjoying every second of their successful run.
Yeah, the handshakes. You know, usually every time we shoot free throws, we go around, everyone has a handshake, and that kind of just created itself on its own, really. And then it was like, it became a thing. We're like, okay, we got to think of some like different stuff and fun stuff to do. It's what we do. It made it a lot of fun. I made warm-ups a lot of fun for sure. So Kay always does like some crazy like try to between the legs whatever, and so it honestly just started with us. Where we were like hyping her up, you know, kind of thing, because she was just over there. She was like, she would do it, so then we all just kind of did it. So Kalina, that's her moment to shine, and we try to motivate her to get up and touch that rim. And it was actually really funny that the crowd like started getting into it and doing it with us. It was, again, that's just the connection, again, just with our fans.
The Storm would cap the season with a win over Dallas, giving them a 26-8 record and the #1 seed heading into the playoffs. Breanna Stewart's 15 points were enough to give her the new single-season scoring record in franchise history, with 742 points. It was all just a precursor to the accolades that would soon follow for Breanna. As the playoffs got underway, the league announced what we in Seattle already knew, that Breanna Stewart was the league's most valuable player.
MVP!
What else do you say about Stu? You know, she had an unbelievable season. Unbelievable season. I mean, just so proud of her, her growth this year, her mentality. It was amazing to watch. I'm glad I had a front row seat for it.
It all made for an unforgettable and record-setting regular season for the Storm.
All right, at this time, players, coaches, champs, we'd like to invite you back to the floor. Dick Fain is gonna ask some questions of some of these champs.
Would you like to hear from Natasha Howard? I think they'd like to hear from Natasha Howard, because I guess wherever Natasha goes, championships follow, right? Is that kind of how it works? The adjustment to this new team for you and to a new role, I mean, it just seemed like it was seamless. Was it as easy as it looked?
No, not at all. I had to put the hard work in to get the spot that I wanted, and I also prayed about it, and God answered my prayers.
What made this team such a perfect fit for you as a person and you as a basketball player?
Well, you know, I had to learn in training camp to what do they like and what they don't like, and also playing with Stewie and Sue and Joy and AC as well. It's special. It's amazing to also put everything together and then the missing pieces.
Finally, how about the similarities and differences from your previous championship experience?
Well, you know, I played behind great players, and this time I'm a starter, and also have the showcase, and also I could do with my team by being a starter. And you know, I couldn't do without them. I also couldn't do without the Seattle fans as well.
Well, let her hear you. Let her hear you, Natasha Howard. Elise, you got somebody for us.
How about we give it up for the fifth overall pick in the draft, the rookie, Jordan Canada. So I was lucky enough to follow Jordan throughout her collegiate career, and one thing that carried over without a doubt was her speed. One of the fastest players in the world coming in to join the Seattle Storm this year. And it's been a whirlwind, but now you are a world champ. Can you believe what this year has been like for you, Jordan?
No, I can't. It's been crazy to go from to go from UCLA and being here. Go Bruins! Yes. Go Bruins. Yeah, it's just been an amazing experience this year, and I can't believe that, you know, my first year I'm a WNBA champion. It's just been an amazing experience.
And everybody wants...
Oh, yeah, it only takes a season. Well, all I needed was a season. Sorry.
Jordan, Sue Bird is the best point guard in the world. And you come in and you're trying to learn from her, but you're also trying to hold your own because you're a pro too. What was this like in year one to play with Sue Bird?
It was unbelievable. I mean, Sue's a role model. I've looked up to her for quite some time now, and just to be in the same presence as her is just unbelievable, and to learn from her every single day, and just watching her and see the things that she does. To try to help my game as well, and just take, you know, what I've learned from her and try to make it my own.
Well, you guys, Jordan Canada hit some huge shots in the postseason, defensively created havoc, and it was an excellent addition to the Seattle Storm as a rookie. Congratulations, Jordan.
Thank you.
When I think of this next player, professionalism, unselfishness, consistency, and right now, real nice shades. Give it up for Crystal Langhorne. Crystal, I talked to Natasha about making adjustments, and you obviously had to make a huge adjustment getting healthy and then adjusting to a role coming off the bench as well. What was that like for you in that first month of the season? Was it hard?
Yeah, it was definitely hard. It was different, but if you want to be a championship team, you know, you have to have a really good bench, and you guys have to really play well together. And I love my teammates. Tasha's great. My teammates are great. I legit love them, you know, it's not fake. And we just had a great season, so it was, I mean, and we won, so that's all that matters. So we won.
And finally, you went through the whole process over the last few years with this franchise, bringing it back up to where it was before. How rewarding is that you were here, not just through that time, but also when you got to the top of the mountain?
Yeah, sorry, I lost my voice a little bit. Yeah, I was here during the down times, and now we've made our way back up to the top. So I'm so excited. I was able to be a part of that, and just bring this franchise back to a winning tradition. That's what it's been. Yes, that's what it's been. And it was so exciting, but it was just a great season with great teammates. I legit like every teammate that I have. I'm not annoyed at anybody, so it was really, you know, sometimes you have teammates you don't like, and I actually like everybody, so. It was a great season, and I just loved every minute of it.
Congratulations, you're WNBA champion, Crystal Langhorne, everybody!
All right, players, we got another surprise for you. Let's have the players head on back over to the bench and have everybody take a look just a couple seconds from now at Storm Vision as we take a look back at the 2018 WNBA semifinal series against the Phoenix Mercury.
The 2018 WNBA playoffs continue. Diana Taurasi and the Phoenix Mercury taking on Sue Bird and the #1 seed Seattle Storm.
It had to be Phoenix. Storm fans were understandably nervous when Phoenix battled their way into the semifinals through 2 single elimination games to reach Seattle in the semifinals.
Listen, when you go against a team like Phoenix with a player like Diana, I mean, when I say, you know, mentally and physically difficult, I mean, I'm really talking about her. You know, and I said it, you have to beat the best in order to be the best. You have to go through the best in order to win championships, and that's what that series was.
In Game 1, the Storm rolled out to an early lead, but Phoenix cut it to 2 in the closing minutes.
Reed Stewart, the offensive rebound for Seattle. Bird looking for space. Bird finds the cutter. Lloyd, she got it! The poise from Bird, the touch from Lloyd.
I saw Sue dribble and penetrate, and I was open. They left me open. I made the cut, and she made a great pass. And the confidence in that pass, I knew I needed to hit that shot and win it.
Game 2 saw another Storm lead cut down by some unbelievable end-of-game heroics from who else? Diana Taurasi. The game would end up in overtime, and the Storm would pull out the win. Games 3 and 4 showed why Phoenix is such a force to be reckoned with, as the Storm lost 2 straight for the first time all season in Phoenix. But most nerve-wracking for Seattle and Storm fans was late in Game 4, when Sue took an accidental elbow to the face from Stewie.
And that is the last thing you want if you're Seattle. The 11-time All-Star, a crucial...
Because I'd broken my nose so many times, I kind of know the drill. It was basically like, it was just a broken nose, wear the mask, you're good. At that point, I mean, there was no doubt in my mind. I was playing in Game 5. It wasn't even a question. I'm not that tough, believe me. It's just, you break your nose, it is what it is. You put the mask on, you're fine. And if, I don't know, if wearing that mask, you know, having some black eyes and, you know, repping that broken nose, if that makes me look tougher and our team feeds off that and we get a little bit tougher, so be it.
It all came down to a winner-take-all Game 5 at Key Arena. Fans rallied behind Sue, wearing nose bandages in solidarity and starting a hashtag, Fear the Mask.
The game was close, up until the final few minutes, when Sue exploded with a barrage of threes, scoring 14 in the final period alone.
You know, that 4 minutes is who she, I think for me, it sums up who she is as a player. She's a freaking legend, man, and she thrives in those kind of moments.
Bird will take, you bet! She's unconscious right now!
I don't even have words for it. It's just like, wow.
8 to shoot. Bird heaves, true! Sue Bird, it is her night!
That's a performance of a lifetime. But I guess the mask kind of motivated her to do it, especially on that night.
Sometimes you have to say screw it, and that's pretty much what happened in that moment. I got a little, you know, out of character, upset and emotional at one point, and I think the mask helped. Ripping that thing off, it got everybody fired up. So, hey, it got us the win.
Prepared us for our series against DC. That was the toughest series. I think it taught us how to get through and how to weather that.
That semifinal series against Phoenix, and I say this with all respect for Washington, that was the finals. Playing against Phoenix in that series was unbelievably difficult. I think both teams really pushed the other to their limit. I mean, we really got stretched in that, and it was physically demanding, it was mentally demanding. I mean, looking back, it's like, man, I don't know how we survived that. It was that hard. But it was probably the best thing that could have happened to our team. It tested us, we had to rise to the occasion, and every time Phoenix hit us, we hit them right back. And I think as a group, that was something we never had gone through before. You know, our regular season, we never really had that many close games. We had a couple here and there, but nothing like any of those games, nothing like those moments. So to go through that, it really, I don't know, it prepared us, it gave us confidence. So heading into the finals, I think we felt really good about ourselves.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring them out one more time onto the court. I think Elise Woodward is going to usher out the players, and Elise has a special guest to lead us off, right, Elise?
All right, promise, I promise. As you see right behind us for Sue, 2004 World Champ, 2010 World Champ, 2018 World Champ. I think this is Sue's best ever year. Am I wrong? I thought you played better than any year in your career. High 7.1 assists per game, the best in her career. Assist to turnover, shooting percentage, all these things, Sue. And as we all know, you're the veteran of the league. So for you, what was this year like to play at this level?
It was fun. I mean, this really was a fun group to play with. I think part of that was they just made it so easy. So for me as a point guard, I just got to go out there and kind of do some stuff here and there and let them do the rest.
We all know Breanna Stewart, the MVP, and how much credit do you give for her for that shirt? The quote, it says, "Sue, use your legs." We give all the credit to Stewie, don't we, for the 14 points?
I mean, she wasn't only scoring, she was also giving really valuable advice. Look at her, growing up right before our eyes.
This team has so much fun together, clearly, right? For you, you've been on so many championship teams from high school all the way to now, overseas, Olympics. What's special about this team, Sue?
I think the fact that we do have so much fun together. You know, we obviously knew when to be serious, but we also knew when to have fun. And I'll tell you a little secret. I knew we were going to win when my group chat went off about 3 or 4 hours before Game 3 in Washington, and I open it up, and it's Natasha Howard. She says, "Don't worry, guys. I got the goggles for the champagne." At that point, it was a wrap.
And one last thing for Sue. Everybody wants to know if you're going to be back. What say you, Sue?
I mean, that's the plan. That's the plan. I'll be back.
Sue Bird, the best point guard in the world.
All right, our next victim to come up will do anything it takes to win. Whether that's putting a team on her back and carrying them 23 points in Game 1 against Phoenix, 23 points in Game 1 against Washington, or when a teammate is going off, she tells coach, "Let Sammy score. She's killing it. Let her play." Ladies and gentlemen, Jewell Loyd. Man, looking at all these fans, you've been here a few years now. It's truly a home for you now, but what is it like to get you guys a championship and all these Storm Crazies a championship?
I mean, we deserve it. They deserve it. The city deserves it. And I wouldn't want to do it with any other teammates than them. We had a great year, and it's because you guys came out and supported us all the time, so thank you guys.
You got close at Notre Dame. You were right there. And then Breanna showed up. But now you got Breanna on your team, so it's all good. It's all good. So what does this feel like now personally for you to have a title when it was right there for you in college?
College is over with. Yeah. I'm here now. It's way better playing with UConn Huskies than playing against them, I'll tell you that. No, this one means a lot. This is one I always wanted. This is one I dreamed about, and so this one means a lot. And it's my first time ever winning in basketball, so I'll take it.
What's the next step for Jewell Loyd? I mean, you show us just amazing accomplishments. What's next in the line of progression for your basketball game?
Pretty much just listen to Sue and follow her instructions.
That'll work.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm still growing a lot. I'm learning a lot. I have a lot to improve on. But right now, I'm going to enjoy this moment with my team in the city. So,
Jewell Loyd, everybody.
Run them jewels fast. Run them jewels fast. Run them.
Let's call up the much credit as she deserves. Who am I talking about right now? Her teammates know Alysha Clark. I don't know about you, but if I had to match up against Diana Taurasi, I wouldn't want to do it. But you not only limited Diana Taurasi, you go into the finals and you got to slow down Kristi Tolliver. Your role on this team, 13 points and 13 boards in a Game 5 win against Phoenix to get into the finals and doing everything. What is your mindset when you head into the game knowing that you got to slow down the other team's star on most nights?
My team's depending on me. No, I mean, we all play a role, you know what I mean? And we all own what we do. And so to come in and just understand that, like, the other team, my job is to lock down the other team's best scorer and know that my team depends on it. I mean, what else do you do?
Alysha Clark has been a fan favorite through the lean years when you got here in 2012 when there wasn't a championship until now when you're the world champs. Fans, I want to ask your perspective. Why do you think that you've always been a fan favorite?
I mean, our fans are so important to what we do. As athletes, like, we thrive off their energy, we thrive off their support. And so I always want them to feel appreciated because they do make a difference for us. And so maybe that's why, like, I don't know.
And now, after all this, out of Middle Tennessee State, second-round draft pick, you are a world champ. Don't lose your earring. Don't lose it. There's some good-looking hoops out here today. I know that. For you to be a world champ now, Alysha, how satisfying is it for you to be standing here right now, getting ready to get sized for a ring?
It's so surreal. This is just, I mean, as an athlete, you dream of this moment, and to know that it happened, it's absolutely amazing.
Give it up, you guys. Alysha Clark.
All right. Champs, players, it's time to head back over to the bench one more time as we have one more presentation on the video screen. Get everybody back. All right, now, please take one more look at Storm Vision as we look back at the WNBA Finals versus the Washington Mystics.
You know, we're here to rock them.
We're gonna win. We're gonna come out with the W.
Game one, baby. Let's win it. By the start of the final series, the city had caught on that something special was happening at Key Arena, and they packed the house for games 1 and 2.
Just Storm crazy. Seattle fans, they like amazing through the whole series, through the whole season.
We have the best fans in the W by far. Definitely, you know, we had a chance to show it off in the playoffs.
It's just the energy that's in Key Arena. It's first of all, it's palpable. You can feel it in your bones. When you run out there, I get the chills every time. And it really just helps. It allows us to be calm in tough moments. It allows us to play great in big moments. We feed off of that energy, and it's all about the fans. It's the passion they bring.
A nearly immaculate Game 1 performance from the Seattle Storm.
The Storm rolled to a 2-0 series lead, led by MVP Breanna Stewart, who continued her steady dominance, scoring 22 in Game 1 and 25 in Game 2. Then the Storm hit the road for Washington and a chance at the sweep.
We've been up 2-0 before. So we are just coming out with the same mindset of being aggressive, understanding that their back is against the wall, not get too far ahead of ourselves because we still have 40 minutes to play.
Think about what connects the two. That's getting balls. That's rebounding. that's 50-50.
Brianna Stewart and Natasha Howard both came out red hot, combining for 32 points in the first half. Sammy Whitcomb, who rose to the occasion throughout the playoffs, did it again, dropping some huge buckets. And Alicia Clark was a steady presence throughout, pulling down rebound after rebound.
I think for me, it was just, I know I needed to be the leader defensively. And so I wanted to come out strong and aggressive and be that leader for us. And, I take pride in doing the little stuff. I didn't want to go to a game 4. My body was like, listen, this is all you got, get it done today. So, just focusing on the little things.
We just lasered in. I was focused. I was determined that we're not going to let this series drag on. And that's what we all had. We had that mind focus of we're going to close this out in game 3.
I think Sue actually just hit a 3, and we were super motivated on that. And then Sammy hit a 3, and we were just going nuts on the bench and just couldn't believe it. And we're all looking around like, you got 2 minutes, 2 more minutes. It's just so special, the hard work of everyone's stories on this team and where everyone came from and how, we're all here for a reason, a purpose, and to look at each other, know our struggle and know what we've been through. I think actually the next possession, Sammy hit a 3 right in front of our bench, and she looked back at us, and we were just like, there it is, and that's your dagger.
Maybe less than a minute left, Mystics got fouled there at the free throw line, and Sue huddled us up. And she's like, guys, we did it. We did it.
Well, what a day. The Seattle Storm Championship Parade wrapping up at Key Arena. A party for Seattle Storm fans as they bring home a 3rd title. Karen Bryant has been joining me in studio. The former Storm president and CEO helped bring 2 of those titles to Seattle. Karen, as you look back, just your thoughts on this.
What a celebration. It's not only just a great time for that particular set of players and coaches and fans, but for all of us who have been Storm fans from day one and got to experience 2004, 2010, to celebrate this year's championship and remember the memories from championships past was a real treat. So thanks for having me today.
Yeah, Dan Hughes saying some final words here as we wrap up our coverage. We'll listen in real quickly.
That I think are really important. I want to echo ownership, the staff, but how about this coaching staff that works so hard with their players? Give them a great big hand. sometimes in life, sports can be a little bigger than putting the ball through a hoop. And what I witnessed this year between this team and you people will forever unify the potential. When two people get on the same page, you can go to the absolute top. Thank you so much. Now, I got one story to tell you, and it's about this team, and it's in a roundabout way. My son called me on Friday, and he said, Dad, I got hurt in practice. He plays at the Air Force Academy. I got hurt in practice. So, you know, that's a nervous thing for a parent. I go, Bryce, what happened to you? He said, Dad, I broke my nose. And here's the best part. I said, Bryce, I have some experience with that. If at least one member of your team is wearing a mask, amazing things can happen. Thank you, team. Thank you, fans, for a year that will forever, ever inspire us. Thank you.
Dan Hughes, everybody, who's giving it up for the MVP and the broom for the sweep of Washington.
I want to bring Sue back up here one more time. And there's one other person that I think we need to talk to, but I think we need to properly introduce her. MVP. 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 Sue Bird and the MVP, Breanna Stewart. Sue, first of all, why is Breanna Stewart the best player in the world?
We don't have enough time. I could take all day. Man, obviously, she's just so dominant right now. The way she plays, her versatility, just out there killing it.
What has this young lady over here done for your career?
I mean, honestly, I've been waiting all night to speak. Oh, shit. But, listen, Sue Bird is a GOAT, first of all. But she's done everything for me. On, off the court, what you guys have seen, what you guys have not seen. I wanted to win a championship with her. And we did that, and I hope we will do it again.
Well, since Sue's declared she's coming back in 2019, I think that needs to be the goal. I want to give you guys the opportunity, as the leaders of this team, to give the Storm Nation one final send-off here from this wonderful season. Sue, you first.
Man, I just want to thank you guys so much. Your support, it's hard to put into words, especially for me. I've been here for a very long time, and I've seen you guys with us through the good, the bad, the ugly. And no matter what, you guys are you're a constant for us, and it helps us win. Home court advantage is everything, so thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here today. It's amazing. Thank you.
We'll let you get to housekeeping in just a second, because I know you're busy with the broom, which, by the way, that's kind of what they showed Washington, wasn't it? Kind of showed that to Washington, the broom. Breanna, final thoughts to Storm Nation here.
Final thoughts? Thank you for helping us get this chip, excuse me. We're gonna be back again, and I can't wait!
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for the world champion Seattle Storm!
And fans, they've got some free t-shirts. Make some noise if you want your 2018 WNBA Seattle Championship t-shirt before they get out of here. Make some noise!
Watching the party at the Key Arena as the Seattle Storm celebrate in style. Now have a street, Seattle Storm Way. How about the good news? When Sue Bird was asked about, are you going to be back next season? She says, that's the plan. I'll be back. Tell you what a day. Karen Bryant, you've taken it in right next to me here, and I've seen you kind of give some applause, some emotions, just as you look at, and we go back to Jenny Gilder and her thoughts. I thought some great stuff from the owner of this team as well.
Yeah, I think Jenny hit a lot of points. While there were some similarities, each championship is unique, and this team was made up of some same pieces in Sue and Alicia, but also some new pieces that were key contributors. And I think she also touched that the owners have been at this now a while, and they've seen this team go through a complete rebuild with Alicia at the helm, and so exciting. This championship is, as she said, perhaps more theirs than in 2010, but nonetheless, they're two-time WNBA championship, and no question the commitment, dedication, and support of Force 10 is a big reason that we're celebrating again today.
It's not easy to win back-to-back titles. There's some other teams out there that's their job as well, but this team has all the makings to repeat. You have Sue Bird announcing during this live broadcast on King 5 TV that she will be back. You have Brianna Stewart, very young. You have a young Jewel Lloyd. You have a backup point guard, Jordan Canada. I mean, you have all the pieces to make another run at another title, don't you?
Well, I think what's important about things like today, and everybody today who has spoken has talked about the commitment from the city of Seattle, the support of the fans. That's the kind of thing that brings players back. So to keep this roster together and unlike past years, they won't be unexpected anymore.
The who's who in the crowd enjoying the party. Look at that little one right there. Alex Rozier rejoins us with U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell. Go ahead, Alex.
Yes, Senator Cantwell's joining us. Yes, hey, Senator, talk about this moment. What did you witness today?
This is a huge moment for Seattle, but really for our whole state, because the Storm reaches so many people around Puget Sound and beyond. Everybody's so excited to celebrate this national championship.
And what do you see in these women?
Oh, leadership, teamwork, a lot of camaraderie. They like each other, and as the coach just said, when you get two people on the same page, a lot can happen. So congratulations to them.
Senator Cantwell, thank you so much for joining us. Mayor Durkan, you were a part of the celebration today. What was that like for you?
It was fantastic. I think what we saw here was just a team that had grit. They love each other. They're inspiring to the whole city. And I think it was a great tribute to say goodbye to the Key Arena and hello to the next chapter.
And if folks are just joining us, you had a little surprise. Tell us what you announced.
Well, we announced today that this road that runs between Key Arena and the fountain will be Seattle Storm Way.
I want to end with this. What was it like to be a part of this with this crowd and this fan base?
I think it was fantastic. And you just look at the enthusiasm. People came to the stadium. They were in the parade and they stayed the whole time to cheer on this team that they love. And we need this in Seattle. We need some unadulterated joy, and they gave it to us. So thank you to the Storm. Thank you to Seattle. It's amazing.
What a great day. Mayor Durkan, thank you so much for being with us. Chris, as we send it back to you, just such a great celebration here. Chief Best as well, enjoying it all.
We do need some joy, and we've talked about that, Karen, throughout this broadcast, how sports... Oh, let's go back to Alex. Go ahead, Alex.
Let me just ask Chief Best, since who do we have here? We got a little one.
One of our littlest fans here joining me as we celebrate this wonderful Seattle Storm team.
What did you think about today? What a celebration.
It was hard to put into words. It was so awesome. The fans, the team, the celebration, the speeches, it was absolutely great. Couldn't be more proud of our Seattle athletes and our Seattle Storm.
What do you think these women do for young people who may be looking up to you?
Well, I certainly think they're an inspiration. They show the value of hard work, of resilience, of leadership. I think one of the fans is ready to take off running.
Ready to keep the party going, Chief.
All right.
Hey, thank you so much for being with us. Guys, we'll send it back into you.
All right, Alex. Karen, you helped pave the way. You won a state high school championship in the 80s. In your wildest dreams, did you ever think this moment where you'd have so much support? You have a U.S. senator, a police chief, a mayor sitting courtside during this celebration, a packed Key Arena, a great parade. I mean, it's a great time in the city of Seattle, and you heard it there from the mayor. We need moments like this to enjoy, to celebrate, and it's pretty awesome stuff.
A lot of people use the word joy today, and you just look at the smiles on the faces of the players and the fans and the staff and the high fives and the sort of unadulterated kind of emotion you can't manufacture in a rare way, something only sports can bring. But yeah, I think, when I was in the WNBA and the Storm, we used to talk a lot about how the WNBA and the Storm both fostered and nurtured the kind of cultural movement that we needed to continue to celebrate and empower women. But we also benefited from cultural advancements and open people's eyes. And I'm just thrilled that I had a chance to play a part in that and be a part of it, and will continue to follow all their work and efforts from afar. And it's truly important, and everybody said it. It's inspiring.
Breanna Stewart taking some time, pictures and smiles and hugs, confetti, a great day. And with that in mind, I have to send a shout out to our news director, Cheryl Carson, who thought this was very important to get this on there. Our general manager, Jim Rose, says, you know what, we need to honor this team like we've honored the Sounders, like we have honored the Seahawks, and like hopefully one day we will honor the Mariners and all the other teams. Seattle Reign were so close to making a run. So everybody at King 5, a big thank you. We had a great crew out there today having some fun. Final thoughts, 10 seconds on today.
Congrats to the Seattle Storm, 2018 once again, 3-time WNBA champions. Go Storm.
Thank you so much for watching our coverage on King 5 TV or on king5.com. We will join the journey with Dylan Dreyer in progress. Thank you, everybody. Go Storm. Let's go get a fourth one now.